Peace, everybody. Welcome to Capital Combat. The name says it all. I'm Hakeem Branch, and it's been a while, guys. And hopefully you've been following us on social media because we've been posting a lot there, but we haven't done a lot of videos because of the drought of big fights and us being kind of busy. I'm working 2 jobs as well as training people as well, so I'm up and down the road working overnight during the day as well. I'm all over the place, tired as all get out, but we got something big this Saturday. Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, the lineal heavyweight championship of the world on the line, and also the WBC heavyweight title. We know all the other belts are owned by Anthony Joshua, so even before this fight, these were the 3 guys at the top. We all figured Fury was going to come back eventually. He took a few years off after beating Vladimir Klitschko. Had a whole tailspin out of control. Regained his composure. Got back into shape. And is at the culmination of his redemption story. Standing in his way is the man who has knocked out every single man that has slid across the canvas from him in Deontay Wilder. He has knocked out a large array of styles, varieties, skill levels, and coming this Saturday, he's going to be fighting the best guy that he's fought thus far in Fury. And with Fury, we can't say the same, but there's some intangibles going on in this fight that make this a dangerous fight for both guys. So let's get into that. The first thing we want to talk about the obvious, which is the immense size of both of these fighters. We got Tyson Fury, who stands at a whopping 6 feet 9 inches. This man is massive. And Wilder, who is usually a giant himself, is 2 inches shorter than Tyson Fury at 6'7". So we got a lot of height in the ring. And like I said earlier with Wilder, a lot of power too. Tyson Fury isn't a slouch either. He is a decent puncher, has a good knockout ratio, and is able to garner the respect of his opponents with his style. Now, in his biggest fight against Vladimir Klitschko for the lineal title and the majority of the belts that were owned at the time, he was able to befuddle Klitschko with a lot of head movement, a lot of feints, and always keeping Klitschko guessing as to when he was going to fire, return fire, or just sit there and posture with him. It was an excellent strategy. It worked beautifully, and it earned him the heavyweight championship of the world. Now, with Wilder, he has someone who is not as reticent to put his guns in the holster like Vladimir Klitschko does. We know he is more of an opportunist who likes to pick his punches and his spots. He relies on timing. He relies on his good jab and a straight right hand and the occasional left hook. Now, Wilder has the same tools, but he has that youthful energy. He has that extreme confidence to believe in his power throughout the entire fight, no matter what you are doing as the opponent. We've seen him in fights where he's not looking the best because we know technically he's not the best guy. His footwork gets sloppy at times. His punch technique gets sloppy at times. But at the end of the day, he gets the job done. Guys hit the mat and they don't get up. And that is the main objective when you're in a fight. So all that technicality gets thrown out the window when the other guy can't get up for the 10 count, or he's so concussed he's barely able to stand or defend himself. So he's been able to cover up for his technical deficiencies with his mind and fight altering power. So that's the main big picture narrative of this fight. The power of Deontay Wilder versus the awkward style of Tyson Fury. Now, me personally, I've been going back and forth about how I feel this fight's gonna go, because Tyson Fury is a very versatile fighter, and Deontay Wilder is more versatile than people give him credit for. This is a gentleman who didn't start boxing until 20 years old, so that rawness is there. He's only been boxing for 13 years. He is now 33 years old. But you can see that he's made some progressions since he started fighting. He's able to land his right hand in several ways. His left hook is now something you have to watch out for. His jab has gotten a little bit more educated, even though it's still not to the level of somebody we would expect to see at the top elite level, like if you're looking at a Mayweather or a Golovkin or a Lomachenko or Andre Ward. But none of that matters because, like I said earlier, he puts heads to bed. So Fury is going to have to fight a perfect fight for 12 rounds because, like he did with Vladimir Klitschko, he can use the feints, he can use the head movement, he can use the awkward style. And someone like Vladimir Klitschko will get handcuffed and begin to lower his output, be unsure of what's going on because he is a little less ready to be hit. He doesn't like being hit. He prefers to be on the offense. If guys do start to mount a lot of offense, he usually likes to tie them up. Now, I see Tyson Fury doing that in this fight, similar to what he did against Steve Cunningham, when Cunningham was able to beat him to the punch. Another long guy, even though he was much shorter, he was able to catch Tyson Fury, hurt him badly when Tyson Fury began to use his size and adjust to what was going on in the ring and pull out the victory. So, what adjustments can Fury make to keep Wilder from hitting him for 36 minutes? Because we know that Wilder only needs one shot to at least hurt you, and once he smells blood, he goes in there like a feral Wolverine and gets that finish. So, like we said, he's going to use that head movement. He has to use that head movement. He has to vary when he is using his distance and when he's closing the distance. He's going to have to epitomize ring generalship on Saturday night. He has to control the distance at all times against someone who is used to being the taller fighter himself and won't be come fight night. So he has an advantage there. He has an advantage also of being in there with an elite fighter in Vladimir Klitschko. He's going to have a bit of confidence. But on the minus side, he hasn't fought any elite competition in several years after doing immense damage to his body. Was it too little too late as far as his improvement physically and jumping back into the ring? Is it too much too soon and getting back in the ring with a top level fighter? Those are questions that Deontay Wilder has to ask of Tyson Fury. So for Wilder, he has to remember that regardless if Tyson Fury is moving his head, regardless of if he's doing feints, he is going to have to continue to use his jab throughout this fight. He cannot abandon the jab because it's not landing. He has to double it. He has to triple it. He has to throw it on the move. He has to throw it going backwards. He has to throw it going forwards. He has to stand his ground and throw his jab in a various amount of ways to keep Tyson Fury from capitalizing on his awkward feints and head movement, because he bobs his head like a chicken. He'll go back and forward. He'll roll. He'll go sway, he will duck, he will change levels, and it worked very well against Vladimir Klitschko. But Deontay Wilder is coming in there with the sole purpose of taking his head off violently. So, for Wilder, he does have to make sure he doesn't punch himself out. We haven't seen him get too tired during fights. We've seen him get a little labored, which is expected over the course of a 12-round fight. You are going to get tired. You're going to have to get your second win. That's a given. Can he get it done before he needs to do that? Or can he get tired, weather the storm, get his second win, and get back to work? We got a lot of questions in this fight, and it's very intriguing to find out who can answer those questions to their benefit. Because there are answers to those questions. Some of them the fighters aren't going to like. So, how do I see this fight going? Honestly, guys, I was very unsure for a long time. At first, I was like, Tyson Fury is going to box this guy's ears off. The only way Deontay Wilder can win is by knockout, and he knows that. But then I started remembering about the differences in demeanor between Vladimir and Deontay. And I was like, I don't know if Tyson Fury can avoid him for 12 rounds. I don't know. So that's another big question of this fight. So Wilder is going to have to use footwork and combinations in order to disguise his right hand for Tyson Fury and land it at a point, possibly and best at an angle, so Fury is caught off guard, hurt, and finished. We've seen Wilder hurt, but not often. He was dropped early in his career. He was hurt versus Luis Ortiz. He got caught in a couple other fights that the name of the exact fighter escapes me. But we've seen him in trouble. But he was able to weather that storm and come out on top. So if Fury is able to get Wilder in trouble, he can't let him off the hook. He has to go in for that finish, and hopefully his conditioning doesn't betray him, because this is going to be his first time going 12 rounds in several years with a top level fighter. So both guys are going to have their conditioning tested. Both guys are going to have their chins tested. And based on so far, both guys have passed the test. But another thing that makes me start to lean towards Wilder is that the few times Vladimir Klitschko did land, you could see a noticeable change in Tyson Fury's face and demeanor. But because of the seeds that he planted early on in that fight, when Klitschko landed, he didn't believe that he was able to hurt Tyson Fury on a sustained basis. So he would land a right hand. You would see Fury's eyes roll or look a little glassy, or you see his expression change like, holy hell, I just got hammered. But Vladimir didn't believe that he was actually hurt enough to capitalize on it, and so he didn't. Wilder will see that. Wilder is counting on that. So how long until Wilder lowers that boom? I think he can drop Fury early. Fury, being the dog and determined man that he is, fights back, gets back even on the scorecards, gets dropped again later on in the fight. Wilder pounces on him like that feral Wolverine that I referred to earlier. Finishes the fight in about 10, 11 rounds. I can also see him winning the decision, but that's highly unlikely given these guys' styles. But he has done it once, so it's not out of the question. What do you guys think? Leave your thoughts below on who you think is going to win and what skills they're going to employ to do so. Make sure you subscribe so you catch our recap. Rob is also going to do the preview for Adonis Stevenson versus Alexander Gvozdyk that's happening this weekend. I didn't even know that fight was going to happen this weekend. That's a damn good fight as well. So stay tuned for that. Then we'll have the recap to both of those fights next week. And hit us up on social media. Capital Combat on all platforms that you frequent. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the like. And I appreciate you guys watching. Rob appreciates you guys watching. Thanks for hanging out with us. So until next time, fight on.
This is round one and you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming and cost. My fists are on fire. I perform till I perspire. My demons are in a rage. Keep thinking that it's a game. I kick crime, hurricane. I told them I don't play. I'm liquid.
Black Street Fighter.